Hello everyone and welcome to the finale of Tier 2 in Season 5 around the Sakhir International Circuit in Bahrain. Check, of course we have Michael already sealing the Drivers' Championship, but still have a Constructors title up for play between AlphaTauri and Haas. So the first car in a lap being Kevin in the Williams. Quite able to go full throttle through the first few corners up towards turn 4. Pretty easy on the throttle, probably the easiest place to invalidate your lap. It's a 28 dead first sector for the Williams. On the softs, the only two people currently on the mediums are Luna Jedi and Farico Toxic. See, into really difficult turn 10. Kevin gets the car rotated nicely. Towards turn 11. A little bit cautious. Now up the hill. Make sure back end doesn't get light. Left or right for Kevin through there. I'm really running it along the curb on turn 13. Up towards the final 2 corners. Okay, tips the nose in. And now up to the line comes Kevin, and this is the benchmark. It's 127.1. Let's see, Mali will be next across the line in the Ferrari. It's 27.8. Gatsby's next, 27.2. And Luna Jedi on the mediums. It's around about a second off Kevin's Delta, and it's only a 28.1. On those mediums. His finger hook was fastest by a millisecond in this second Haas. Let's see, Sammy's gone P5. Here comes the champion Michael as he goes to the top of a 27.1 as well. 900th clear. His Cheap Skills goes P5 in the other Williams. And he'll be next, will be Frico next on the mediums. Only one real time to be aiming at here on the mediums. See what it is for the Ferrari. And to 28.4. And the slowest lap time out of anyone up to now. There's no Apollos on the mediums as well. Up to the line. And there's 27.7 is a competitive time. And it's still half a second behind any of the other soft compound tyre laps. You've got Nathaniel and the Alfa Romeo also on the mediums. There's a 5.9, only around about 4/10 off Kevin's Delta, as Lunatic goes to P1, again with another 27.1, so the top 5 currently only separated by less than a tenth of a second. Nathaniel goes a bit deep into turn 14. Up to the line comes the Alfa Romeo, and it's a 27.8 on the mediums. It's only enough for P9 as Sammy goes quickest on his second lap on those tyres. It's a 26.6 for Sammy. It's a very, very strong lap. Freaking Toxic, I think he's looking to improve on that medium tyre run. Not got a lot of ERS to play with, and it's only a 2/10 improvement. Stays P12. See, his Bob is spun in his outlap. And has been disqualified for driving the wrong way. Here is Fooders. There's a pair from middle sector. And now up to the line. There's P2 with a 27 flat. So Sammy is around about 4 to nearly 5 tenths quicker than everyone else. But then second to 7th is separated by just over a tenth. Looking very, very competitive is the grid at the moment, which is good to see. The finals on an in lap. So who would be next if you're starting the lap? I think that's Sammy on his in lap. It is. You probably won't want to be starting the race on those tyres though, or Sammy, because it needs 2 push laps on that set of softs. So who's going to be first on a lap? I think Catsby will be the next person on a push lap. Of course, aiming to get the constructors for Haas, the gap is currently 22 points. Aston Martin are still mathematically in contention as well, as they are only 26 points behind the AlphaTauri team. Here's Catsby starting his second time lap. Long run down to turn 1. Spot the braking. Using a bit of the curb on the entry. Back end really wanted to step out. And gets through the first slow speed section up towards turn 4. Making sure not to run too wide. It's currently a 10th up as Catsby with a 28 dead. Be enough to send him to second in the timing pages as he loses it at turn 7 and invalidates the lap, and that will be those tyres ruined for good measure as well. See, Mali is not pushing. So Michael is now the first person on a push lap. It's a purple first sector for Michael. Into turn 10. Gets the car turned in. Really cutting that corner at the inside of turn 11. Minimise the track distance. It's currently 3 and a bit tenths up is Michael. Needs a bit more if he wants to challenge Sammy. Needs around about 2 tenths more. Really mounting the inside curve of the final corner wasn't great. And up to the line. It's a 3, nearly 4 tenth improvements, but there's definitely time in that final corner for Michael. I don't actually think there's... And Fingerhook has just finished the lap and has done a 0.9. I don't actually think there's anyone else on laps. Now here's Catsby. Has gone again. And 7 tenths down as Caspian runs wide and invalidates his lap. On board with Chief Skills in the Williams. Runs a bit wide through turn 8. Turn 10, taking him really cautiously. And down the back straight. Nicely through turn 11. And just make sure not to touch that inside curve at turn 12. It's 1.4 seconds down. We're on board with Apollo instead in the McLaren. Oh, misses the apex of the final corner, gets on the curb as well. And he's going to abort the lap. Into McLaren. Notices no improvement to be made. On board with Lunatic instead in the Aston Martin. Into the first few corners again, really struggling with the balance on the back end of the car. Towards turn 4. And through the first sector he's only 300ths up. Again, back end really seeming a bit squirrelish into turn 10. Gets a decent exit out of turn 10. Into turn 11. As Kevin has gone P3 in the Williams, as Lunatic touches the inside curb and off goes the Aston Martin and takes a massive whack on the rear wing. Very lucky not to have lost a tyre. And so we've got 3 for finishing a lap in the Ferrari, and it's enough for P4 with a 26.8. Yeah, Lunatic taking a massive off, and very interesting to see if he's sustained any rear wing damage from that incident. There's his teammate Luna Jedi. Oh, he gets out of shape, and that'll be invalid for the other Aston Martin. Struggling at the moment, Luna Jedi down in 13th. So you got through this is coming into the pits is the Alfa Romeo. So not that many people out on track on laps at the moment. Seemingly people wanting to leave the pits as late as possible. See Mali getting ready to start what should be his final push lap. And barreling down towards turn 1, using the curb on the outside. Very interesting to see people using that curb. And nice traction as well does the Ferrari. Towards turn 4. And so only 2 temps up, just about under the 28s. All the way down to first gear through turn 8. Runs a bit wide onto that curb. And we've upset the balance of the car a bit. Really struggling for traction out of turn 10. It was a decent start to the lap, but the middle sector so far has been a bit scruffy. Mali again riding the curb, going to be so cautious when riding those curbs. And again on the inside of turn 12 and round goes the Ferrari. It's a perfect 360. Gets style points for that. Other than that, I will not do the lap or the tyres any good. We might be able to go again, but don't particularly think those tyres will be ones he wants to start the race on. And here's Fingerhook. Currently 3 temps off pole in the Haas. This will be his final run. He's only 7 thousandths up at the moment. He only needs around about 200ths though to gain a position. As he rounds the final corner, up to the line comes Fingerhook. Is it an improvement? It is an improvement. He's also got second fastest to 0.6. See, here's Sammy currently at the top of the timing pages. Is just under a 10th up through the first sector. Looking to solidify that place at the top. Really pushing the track limits. Oh no, Sammy makes a mistake at 10-12 and that'll be his lap ruined. And he won't have enough time to make it to the line. It's Nathaniel has gone up to second. See, here's Catsby currently 2 tenths up in the other Haas. Is he going to be able to get near in time to the front guys? He's 2 tenths up still. It's a perfect middle sector. And see how accurate that is. At the moment, his improvements will be enough to put him P6 if he has held that time. Through the final sector, up to the line comes Catsby. And now it's only a 300th improvement. It's only enough for P9. Now here's Lunar Jedi, 1.2 seconds up currently in the Aston Martin. It's the first clean lap he's really got in. And where's this going to be good enough? Is it good enough to challenge Sammy at the top? It is good enough to challenge Sammy at the top. It's good enough for provisional pole. We're 26.5. Michael's next across the line. Can the champion displace him? No, he can't. It's not an improvement for Michael. It's P5 at best. This Neuropirate is backed off. Chief Skills will be next. There's a train of cars coming down towards the final corner. And so Chief Skills will be first across the line in the Williams. Where will he go? Enough for P8. Through the stays P9. Verico goes P3. And Apollo goes P1 in the McLaren. And that will be pole. The last over the line. The track grip seemingly ramped up. And it's a 0.3 for Apollo, and it's enough for pole. Lunar Jedi joins him on the front row. Sammy is in third with Rico fourth. Nathaniel 5th and Fingerhook 6th. Michael down in P7. Ahead of the two Williams are Kevin in Chief Skills and then Food is in P10. And then Lunatic, Catsby, Mally all on the soft side of the top 10, and Europirate seemingly taking the strategic option of not really setting a representative lap time. And then Bob is 15th. Let's see, where's Apollo found all that on his first soft run as well? Through the first, it's round about every sector that McLaren has found the time. So overall a very, very mighty lap to give him pole position. But we'll see what the race brings. It'll be very interesting to see which way people go for strategy. Bahrain being such a high tyre wear track. See, drivers getting underway for the formation lap. Let's see, and tyres of everyone outside the top 10, so obviously everyone in the top 10 is on the softs, and everyone apart from Europirate has opted for the medium outside the top 10, and Sharif's car is stuck on the grid. To see what happens there with the Mercedes. I'm very interested to see how long the people in the top 10 take those softs. There are two options that they can choose, and that is to commit early to a two-stop and get off those softs onto mediums and go for another set of mediums. They could stretch them to do medium, soft, soft, or they could stretch them even further than that and go for the soft, hard strategy. So you predicted pit stop as soft, soft, hard. That's not an ideal strategy. Around the final corner, the game will take control. We'll have to see if we get underway here now. Whether Sharif's car will move. The rest of the cars line up on the grid. Are we going to get underway? No, Sharif's car has decided to go, and it looks like we're going to be sat here on the grid for the time being. Should make an interesting turn one, with no one's brakes or tyres being up to temperature. We're going to get a restart. So we are back. Let's see, so everyone has opted for the same tyre outside the top 10 that they originally chose. Because the benefit to a lobby restart for everyone inside the top 10 is now, instead of being on worn softs, they're on brand new softs, which will make their life a lot easier in terms of going longer into the race. Especially being a rear tyre limited track. Don't have to care too much about the front tyres. You're probably getting adequate temperature into those front tyres. Apollo has won 2 races so far this season, as has Lunar Jedi. The battle for second in the standings between those two. Together between the two of them, they've won 4 of the past 5 races. Just wait for Sharif to line up at the back in the Mercedes. She now has. As the lights come on here in Bahrain, and it's lights out and away we go. And it's a decent start for Apollo, who gets off the line well. Farico and Sammy have also made decent starts jumping Lunar Jedi into turn 1. Though Apollo holds his lead, Sammy darts around the outside and has to take a really tight line. There's a wheel banging out of the first few corners. The top 3 really close down towards turn 4. Sammy's having another look on Apollo. He's going to get squeezed out. It's the AlphaTauri now that fights Rico with an opportunity which he backs out of as well. But Apollo has held his lead. There's an incident at the back between Mali and Sharif. But through the first sector, it's Apollo that leads from Sammy, from Farico, from Nathaniel, and Lunar Jedi has dropped all the way down to 5th in the Aston Martin. Just didn't seem to get off the line. Aston Martin, Sammy's having another look at Apollo into turn 11. Being really racy on this opening lap is Sammy. And again, Apollo defends well, does the McLaren. He's hustling that AlphaTauri as Sammy. Apollo already feeling the need to break the slipstream on the run down towards the final corner. What an opening first lap I've had so far. As onto the pit straight they come. Apollo moving over to break the slipstream. How much of an effect it's going to have? Go on board with Sammy instead. Burning a lot of ERS. Does Sammy into turn 1? But it looks like he's got that move done. Does he? Not quite. Apollo's still there. But he's not got the best of exits. Rico's now looking to take second from the McLaren. But Apollo hangs it around the outside at turn 4 and holds the position. But Sammy has taken the lead. And can he break away? That is now the question. Here's Luna Jedi falling a bit further back than anyone else in front of him, seemingly struggling a bit in the Aston Martin. Almost falling out of that 1 second window from Nathaniel in front of him. And he's getting back into it a bit now. You know, we've got in front as Farico is having to go a bit defensive against Nathaniel. Can the Alfa Romeo driver get a decent exit out of the final corner, which it looks like he has. Seemingly not deploying a lot of ERS. Again, Sammy at the front just doing a bit of weaving to try and break that slipstream. Apollo's still getting really close to the back of the Alpha Tauri through the first few corners. DRS now enabled. And this is where the DRS train begins to form a bit. Might become a bit line astern now. So you'll just have to wait for DRS to pick their moves. But Apollo looking really, really quick as Mali is off in the background out of turn 3. Looks to have kept the car running. And down towards turn 10. Into the third DRS zone. It's not really an overtaking opportunity down this back straight. It's not the longest straight on the track. It comes out of very, very slow corners. Apollo getting on the curb out of turn 11. Offsetting that McLaren a bit, but he's still only 2 tenths behind Sammy, who again is having to feel the need to try and break the slipstream. His Cheap Skills has gone off in the background as well. Doesn't look like we're going to get any hint of a safety car, but this is Apollo's first opportunity. Sammy gets a bit out of shape out of the final corner. And here we go again, down the pit straight. Breaking the slipstream, trying to break it. He's got some decent straight line speed though, as Sammy. Apollo not quite able to pull ahead from the DRS, but he goes right around the outside of turn 1. Gets the move done. And now we go on board with Sammy, who's got the better exit, have the DRS up towards turn 4, and it's pretty simple for Sammy to retake the position, but Apollo's got a much better exit on the cutback and can't go side by side through turns 6 and 7, and Sammy holds the lead of the race. And a clear DRS train already beginning to form. We've got further back Fingerhook and has got past Lunatic as Europirate looks to also get by. But this is where the DRS train's ending as Fingerhook is falling into the clutches of all these people who started outside the top 10. Jura behind goes for a move on Lunatic. They get a bit of wheel banging between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. They go side by side through turn 12. And Neuro gets the move done up into P10. Bob goes off in the background. Move back towards the front. Is Apollo going to try and overtake Sammy on the pit straight? Seems like he's a bit too far back. The main move is going to be Nathaniel, who's trying to get past Farico in the Ferrari. Down towards turn 1. On the brakes. Farico really mounting that inside curb, squeezing the Alfa Romeo. That's really compromised him. That's going to give Luna Jedi all the invitation that he needs to try and take P4 instead. No, he can't quite on the brakes. The positions stay as they are on lap 5. You can see the effect of the DRS train. The gap between Fudas and Fingerhook has already grown to 3 seconds. It was 1.8 at this point on the last lap. And top 8 really pulling each other along and sort of helping themselves against those medium runners, trying to get as far away as they can if they want to go for the one-stop strategies. As Farico now though has fell out of a second from the top 2. I'll leave him vulnerable on the pit straight. Nathaniel only 3.5 tenths behind, as the leaders are only separated by 4 tenths as well. We have multiple moves going on down the pit straight on this lap. We'll look at the lead one first. You see Apollo out the final corner. Is he going to try and challenge Sammy down towards turn 1? Sammy's trying to break the slipstream. Doesn't look like he's close enough. But Nathaniel's definitely close enough on Farico. Apollo's going for it as well. On the brakes, is very nearly had his nose chopped off. Nathaniel's got the move done on Farico. I saw there's a spinner and oh no, Sammy's gone off at turn 3. Not sure if there was any contact there, but the AlphaTauri is off. And Apollo, has he picked up sustained any damage? Don't think he has, but he's got the lead of the race and round about a second gap, so if he can stay out of a second with the cars behind him, he's going to be in a really good position as they go through the detection point. It's 1,000th ahead of a second. And has Nathaniel got DRS? No, he has not. So that could be a real opportunity for Nathaniel to get away, but for Apollo to get away, but Nathaniel's going to push through this sector to hold on to that DRS of the McLaren. I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to look at that right hand side of the front wing if there's a chip in it. I don't think there is. You see through the final corner, Nathaniel has kept hold of the DRS, only just, but he's not going to let the McLaren in front of him get away too early in this race. The DRS seemingly really powerful down that pit straight. It's an intriguing battle for the lead, but Sammy has came into the pits, presuming just to ditch those soft compound tyres that he was on, that he just spun on. I think Sammy's gone for another... No, he's gone for a medium compound tyre. That's Sammy. He's looking to go long at the moment. Almost certainly committing himself to a two-stop as Sammy. See, looking at the leaders, Nathaniel really closing that gap too. Oh no, Apollo's lost in it. Ted 13 rips the front wing off the front of his McLaren, and that will be a definite pit stop, as now both of the race leaders have made mistakes. Nathaniel now leads ahead of Farico, and is Farico going to try and take the lead here? Burning quite a bit of ERS. He is going to go and take the lead into turn 1. Is Nathaniel going to be clever about this? Gets a nice little cutback, does Nathaniel, ensuring that does he get the DRS? I'm not sure who's got it. It's Farico who's actually got the DRS. Is Nathaniel close enough to retake the lead? No, he's not. So Farico now takes the lead of the race. And it seems like a bit of a bogey position at the moment to be leading the race, as he seems more inclined to spin. And Apollo also received the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as he came in to change his front wing. Didn't actually lose a huge heap of time with the spin, as O'Malley's gone off again. Is that going to trigger anything like a safety car? Unfortunately, no, O'Malley's kept it going again as the Ferrari. All the way now on lap 8. The pit stop window's definitely open for these guys on the softs, as Farico and Nathaniel both get out of shape out of turn 13. There's going to be another swap for the lead down the pit straight. But Luna Jedi is very close to the back of Nathaniel. Nathaniel's close enough to have a go on Farico. No, Farico dart into the pits. And now we're looking at, is Luna Jedi going to try and make a move on Nathaniel? No, he's not, but Michael's close as well. Into turn 1 goes Michael and gets the move done. up into second. Something seemingly out of nowhere a bit now as Michael got up into second place in this race. Let's see how much of an undercut is Farico going to get after pitting onto those mediums. And he's gone for the mediums. Sort of in kind, he's going to be doing a two-stop, but he's come out and he's behind Sharif in the Mercedes. I don't, unless he can get past the Mercedes, as he's going side by side with the Mercedes actually through 10-4, and he's got the move done. He's got clear air to use those fresh mediums to try and pull a gap on these guys at the front. Seemingly a bit of a late call. See, we've got down towards 10-1 again. This is Michael going for the lead of the races. It looks like Apollo spun again at 10-13 as Michael takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Luna Jedi's looking to get past Nathaniel as well into 10-4. No, Nathaniel holds on, but Michael now leads. But these guys have stayed out again, so seemingly are looking to stretch to a set of hard tyres. And the guys at the front, as they're now on lap 10, it's finally getting really sliding through 10-10. The tyre wear will be getting rather prevalent on those soft tyres. See, 2 seconds. Nathaniel off his personal best through the first 2 sectors alone. As through, as no, Michael takes a late call to come in. Nathaniel stays out again. See, what tyre does Michael go for? It's going to be a set of mediums. Now they can go to the end of the race if he nurses one, but here comes Farico. Now how much of an undercut has he obtained? He's obtained quite a massive undercut. Has Farico off just 2 laps? He's got in 3 seconds on Michael. He's only going to get more on the top 2. Very interested to see what Nathaniel and Ninja do. Do they pit this lap or do they stay on more? But it seems now that Michael has come in, the logical thing will be to copy. And because there is, if Michael's gone into mediums, then they may as well go into mediums as well at this point and copy Michael. See, through the final corner. Now, do they come into the pits or not? Nathaniel's going to stay. No, they stay out again to the top 2. Really stretching this on those soft compound tyres. Lunacek is having a look for the lead. He's got a lot of ERS to play with. Into 10-1 goes the Aston Martin. Little bit of a lock-up, but he's got the move done. And is Nathaniel going to fight to coming back up the hill? He's got a really good exit. Is the Alfa Romeo. Doesn't look like he's going to fight it. No, he is. He's going to look for the inside. No, he backs out of it mid-corner and allows Luna Jedi to take the lead of the race. And what these two need to realise is they don't want to battle each other for too long. but it seems like they're sort of hanging it out for a bit of a safety car at the moment. But once they get on the mediums, which I presume they surely must be going for at this point, if they've stretched these softs at 12 laps, they're going to have very, very fresh mediums come the end of the race. But you can tell the time difference that they're losing, because Lunatic in the other Aston Martin is catching him, and he's dragging Catesby along in the Haas, as obviously they're going for one stops. I'm assuming these guys are going for one stops as well, but the two behind them will have hards, as these guys are probably going to be on mediums. Let's see, through the final corner, and surely these two must come in on this lap, which they both do. That's it. Stint done as Nathaniel hits Luna Jedi into the pit lane, and that has caused Luna Jedi to speed, as they do both go for a set of medium compound tyres. So that very bizarre incident on the pit lane entry. Don't think Nathaniel picked up any damage. He's really, really late on the brakes. A lot more committed than Luna Jedi. And it's ended up getting Luna Jedi a penalty, but look at how far behind they are. They're 5.5 seconds behind Michael. And then they're a further second behind Farico. I think Farico was getting a bit held up by Kevin. He's also on 3-lap all. I think Kevin bit a lap earlier than everyone else. I think Kevin might have. He's got really fresh tyres. Fuda's obviously pitted early as well. But a very, very split strategy. So these guys have pitted earlier than everyone else. You feel they're going to be more inclined to go for a two-stop. It's going to be really difficult for them to get mediums to the end. As we've got yellow flags, as Manley's gone off again. And could that throw a curveball? No, he's kept it going again as Mally. And he picks up another 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So look back to this. So Kevin through the final corner. Is Kevin going to try and challenge the Ferrari in front of him? He is. And this might be fairly easy moves. Freako's light is flashing, indicating he's not got a lot of ERS. And down the inside goes Kevin. And what is into the net race lead of this race. But Freako's going to try come back at him. Around the outside, he's late enough on the brakes as Freako, and he gets the move back done again. But he's running on a really, really low battery at the moment. How much battery has he got? It's less than 20%. Kevin's running in the 40s. Michael's running in the 40s as well. So not ideal for battery at the moment for Farico. And if he's going to make another pit stop, then he's not in a very good position compared to these guys behind him. Into the final corner. It's got a battle for the lead, actually, as Catesby's got past Lunatic into turn 1 for the actual lead of the race. Let's look back to this battle. Is Kevin going to try into turn 1 again? He is going to try into turn 1 again. Gets the move done, but again Freako's going to have the DRS up towards turn 4 and is going to breeze back past the Williams. Was Kevin a bit later on the brakes this time? No, he's not. He's got to try something different, is Kevin, if he wants to actually make the position stick. It's battling. It is inviting Nathaniel, who's got past his teammate, to catch up. Obviously he's on 4-lap fresher mediums compared to Frico, and Kevin's on 2-lap fresher compared to Michael. Oh, they're going to move, and Kevin's gone for it into 10-11. He's gone the long way round. I think he's going to have got the move done. No, they're side by side. There's Kevin. No, Kevin spins. So he's pushed onto the curb, seemingly, and has lost it. He's got it going again. He's dropped down to 9th. But that means that Michael is now the car on the back of Frico. So is Michael going to go for the lead here? It's not deploying any RS, purely DRS for him right now, as he goes down the inside and takes the lead of the races in the background as well. Lunar Jedi is getting a move done on food. He goes very, very late on the brakes, drifting it through the first corner. But he's made the move stick. Now here, back to this battle for the net race leads, as Michael seemingly has got it done, which he has. So into the net race lead goes Michael on fresher tyres as well. And so he goes a bit deep though, does Michael, into 10-10, and that's going to maybe invite Frico down towards 10-11, but no, he's not going to be close enough to the back of that Honda powered Alpha Tauri. But will he be close enough on the pit straight to maybe come back at the Alpha Tauri? But behind them, Nathaniel has really got some excellent pace in the Alfa Romeo and is flying up towards the back of these two. And you go down the pit straight. He's not got the best of exits seemingly, as Frico, and he's not got the RS to play with. He's not close enough to challenge Michael into 10-1. He's going to sit behind, maybe recharge that battery a bit before mounting another attack. What you'll also want to be doing is saving those tyres. It's going to be a real tall ask, if he is going to the end, to get them to the end. An interesting battle behind. We've got Fooders, Kevin and Fingerhook. Fingerhook behind these two is obviously on fresher mediums. So Catsby and Bob are into the pits off of their mediums. Is that going to be for a set of soft compound tyres for those two? It is a set of soft compound tyres going on for those two. Let's see, here is Kevin getting back past Fooders after his spin. Means that Lunatic is now the only car on track yet to have made a pit stop. Currently leads by 8.5 seconds. And if he was to pit now, he would come out around Catsby and Neuro Pirate. I would imagine it would be in between the two. However, it would be on fresh, soft tyres. Very interesting to see where Catsby and Lunatic end up getting into this race, as Michael was a bit deep again into 10-10. Seems Frico is managing to hang on to the back of the Alpha Tauri on those slightly older tyres. But as Nathaniel is very much nearly within striking range of this fight. Let's see, does Lunatic at the front come into the pits? Yes, he does, and on what you would assume to be a set of soft compound tyres for the Aston Martin. So Michael, for the first time in this race, takes the lead of the race. It'd be interesting to see, can he hold on to that lead come the end? And see, Frico's got a really decent exit out of the first few corners, but isn't close enough. He, again, isn't seemingly recharging that battery probably as effectively as he would have wanted. Let's see, Lunatic has actually came out ahead of Catby and all of that. So how far off the lead is Lunatic? He's only 14 seconds off the lead of the race. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to get those softs will die off towards the end of the race. But he's got clear air to and as Catby, they've both got clear air to try and get to the back of the train of the medium runners and see if they can just disrupt their flow. I don't think they'll be catching these three at the front. These three at the front seem to be too far ahead at the present moment. Nathaniel notably now has got within that 1 second window. And out of this front three, definitely looks the quickest. You see, is Michael going to break in 1 second? I think Michael has managed to break 1 second to Farico as Mali has gone off again out of turn 3. Again keeps it going, but no, Farico's lost the DRS to Michael. Is that going to leave him vulnerable to Nathaniel? It's not. He's not vulnerable enough down the pit straight. Catby sets the fastest lap on those fresh softs with 28.9. And see, is Nathaniel going to be close enough to have it going to 10-4? No, he's not. He's going to be rather selective about this, does Nathaniel. He'll want to try and make this move, you know, as quickly as he can before Michael gets away. But he's going to want to make the move in a way where, as he's making it, it gets him back within the 1 second window of Michael, which seemingly is going to be a lot hard to, it's going to be quite hard to do. He's going to be 8 tenths, you know, out of that window from the AlphaTauri. He's going to have to be on the pit straight that he gets back within it, unless Farico can get back within it himself, which it doesn't quite look like he's doing at the moment, as the battle's further back. Lunatic's got past Kevin. Catby's got past Fooders and is looking to try and also get past Kevin as well. This is the pace advantage. Now the fresh softs. And to see, Lunatic has already, as no Farico's coming to the pit, he's making a second pit stop. Is the Ferrari, and that's going to take him right out of contention. Can't get those softs to the end. Catby gets past Kevin. Let's see the pace advantage. So on that lap, or round about the past 2 laps, Lunatic has taken 3 seconds out of Michael in the lead, and those softs, they are going to stay fresh for a while, but he and Catby, as oh no, Lunatic picks up a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Oh, it's going to really detriment him, but they're still catching at a huge rate of knots to the leaders. Let's see, can Nathaniel, he's got round about the same ERS as Michael. He's got to really try and just find a bit more to get back within that 1 second to stick with Michael. It's going to be so difficult to do. So the gap is 1.2 as they come out of turn 13. It doesn't seemingly have the battery, you know, to be able to get within that 1 second. It's back up to 1.3 as they look very, very evenly matched to the two at the front. Nathaniel now below 10% on the battery. See, Lunatic now within 10 seconds of the lead. Bob has got past Kevin, who's came in for his second pit stop. See Nathaniel, it was 1.1 momentarily there for a second. It's wound down to a second. Really pushing on so far on this lap. But again, he's just not close enough yet. Is the Alfa Romeo to the Alpha Tauri. Michael's gone a bit deep into turn 10, but has still managed to get a decent enough exit to maintain that gap, and they're catching Mali as a lap car as well. So that's gonna, if Michael can get a bit of DRS assistance off the Ferrari, that will be really, really useful for him. And I think in fact he might just, no he's not, unless Mali doesn't get out of the way, an adequate position. No, he's not going to quite get DRS as Michael down the pit straight. And see, onto the pit straight. And it's 1.2, they're both really running low on the battery. And see, it's further back, Lunatic's getting past Fingerhook. Fingerhook not seemingly able to hold up the Aston Martin for his teammate. And that is up into fourth. It's looking good, rather good for Aston Martin at the moment in the constructors' standings. However, both cars are suffering at the moment from penalties. The thing is, luckily for Lunar Jedi, there's the possibility that obviously it will get removed, and seemingly that he was pushed into the pit lane, which resulted in that 5-second time penalty. But you can see the grip that the softs still have is that Lunatic is already, in not even half a lap, pulled a second to Fingerhook behind him. And 7.5 seconds off the lead, with around about 6 laps to go. He needs about a second a lap if he wants to catch the top two. And see, he's only 200ths off his best time at the moment. I don't think he's going to get DRS on his teammate for the pit straight, but going up towards turn 4 he probably will have some DRS assistance. See, at the front as well, Nathaniel is now within DRS range of Michael. This final 5 laps of the season looks set to be very, very tasty, as Lunatic is, I think he's been let go by Lunar Jedi, knows there's an opportunity for him to catch the lead, as Sammy sets another fastest lap. Apollo has also made another mistake down at 10-11, but now here's the battle for the lead. There's Sharif as a lap car in front. Michael has not been gifted with DRS assistance from the Mercedes, but look at how close Nathaniel is now getting to the back of the Alpha Tauri. Through the Ghost car they go, as Apollo's also off there as well in the McLaren. You see, down towards the final corner is, on this lap, Nathaniel going to be close enough. They've got round about the same amount of battery, 4 temps back, DRS enabled. Michael moving over, breaking the slipstream, trying to break it. Is Nathaniel close enough to go for a move? No, he's not quite, as he gets really late on the brakes, nearly hitting Michael through the first few corners. He's got a much better exit out of the first few corners. Michael now flashing low on ERS. Is Nathaniel close enough? He's late on the brakes into turn 4, but he can't quite get past the Drivers' Champion, holding his own on those more worn tyres. But the more these two battle, the more they open up the opportunity for Lunatic to catch up. And even with that penalty, there's still a possibility. But he needs the top two to really battle more. You see the ERS levels. Nathaniel's around about 10% more than Michael at the present moment. And Michael really seemingly beginning to struggle. These mediums, they will still be good, but they're not going to be as good as probably what you want them to be at this point of the race, especially when Michael's tyres are 2 laps older again, breaking the slipstream, needing to, in order to defend from the Alfa Romeo behind him. Here you go, round 2, down the pit straight. Is Nathaniel this time going to get close enough? 3 tenths, 2 tenths, down towards turn 1. Is this close enough this time? Is Nathaniel really gets it parked on the apex, really losing the back end, but he's parked it well enough, and then Michael's not got a good exit out of the first few corners, and Nathaniel holds the lead and retains it. On lap 26 of 29, the Alfa Romeo leads on the fresher tyres. Can he pull away as Michael goes deep into turn 8? But can Nathaniel get away, or is Michael just going to sit behind, wait until lap 29 to where he will have the DRS, possibly have more battery, and blast back past that Alfa Romeo? It'll be a very intriguing end to the race, as the Aston Martin behind them is still catching at a rate of knots. As the gap between Lunatic and Michael is now 3 seconds. He can still play a part in this race, can Lunatic. Especially if these two want to battle a bit more. Michael has less ERS, he's got less than 10% as they come down the pit straight, in fact, as Michael. Nathaniel still has around about 20. And see, down towards turn 1, Michael's going to be nowhere near close enough to challenge the Alfa Romeo into the first corner. But is he going to be close enough coming out of the first few corners to have a run up turn 4? No, he is not. He's 7 tenths back. Have Michael's mediums began to lose a bit of performance, or is that purely down to the fact that his ERS level down the pit straight is non-existent? He needs a bit more, does Michael, down that pit straight. See, through turn 10 once again is round about 7 times back. They're now somewhat equal on ERS, as Nathaniel used a bit out of turn 10 and pushed each other so much of these two so far. See, gap 7 tenths. There's all this yellow flags. There's all the Lunar Jedi's made a mistake in the Aston Martin, and that's going to really cost them in the constructors' battle. See, down towards turn 1, is Michael close enough? No, he's not. He's not quite. Is Michael on the penultimate lap? It's going to be a 1-lap shootout. Sammy's not out of the race. That's an AlphaTauri out of the race, notably. Now, I'm just going to quickly try and work out who is this playing their hands into, because the two Haas cars are currently running 4th and 5th, which is 37 points for them. AlphaTauri is scoring 26, so it's an 11-point swing at the moment in favour of the Haas team. I don't think that's going to be enough for Haas to overhaul. No, they need another 11 if they want to overhaul AlphaTauri in the constructors. But we're getting now down towards the final corner for the penultimate time. The gap is 6/10. I'm going to go on board with Michael. He's recharged that ERS to round about 30%. DRS enabled. Nathaniel's light is now flashing. Down the pit straight. Is Michael close enough? Is he going to go for the move into turn 1? He's late on the brakes. He leaves the room. Does Nathaniel? Michael's going to have to DRS again. That's a real big snap. But I don't think he's now going to be close enough up to turn 4. No, he's not. Nathaniel has the lead through the 2 crucial parts of the track that he needs it. 1 DRS zone to go. See, into turn 8. The gap is half a second. 17 laps Michael has been on those mediums. They are going to be screaming as well. Nathaniel's 2 lap pressure mediums are those 2 extra laps that he stayed out on those softs early on in the race. Going to help. Ended the final DRS zone and he's still clear. 4 tenths. 5 tenths the gap is going on. Michael's still got a bit of ERS to play with, but there's no DRS down towards turn 14. The gap is half a second, and I don't think Michael's going to get close enough. He's burning every single small bit that he's got. Nathaniel will be as well. Through the final corner, as long as the back end doesn't light it up, Nathaniel's played the cards right and wins the finale in Bahrain ahead of Michael. Lunatic finishes in 3rd, and he will hold that on penalties. Fingerhook will finish 4th with Catby in 5th. That means that AlphaTauri are the Constructors' champions. Bob finishes in 5th. No, Farico is 6th with Bob in 7th. Kevin will finish in 8th. And the next will be Fooders to finish in 9th. And have Cheap Skills and the Williams through the final corner with a puncher's Cheap Skills on the front left. Finishes in 10th. Neuro finishes 11th. And the last drive to cross the line will be Luna Jedi. Takes the fastest lap with him. But what a way to end the season. Of an absolute titanic battle. Changes for the lead all race. But the strategy that worked. And it's all credit to Nathaniel to win that race. With the strategy, pretty sure Nathaniel won the opening race back in Montreal. Wins the final race as well. Ahead of Michael, the champion. It is AlphaTauri who are the Constructors' champions. Ahead of Haas and Aston Martin. You can see Nathaniel wins the race by just 3 tenths of a second from 5th on the grid. Michael finishes in 2nd. Lunatic and Catby finish 3rd and 4th, making real good use of the alternate strategy. Fingerhook finishes in 5th. Rico, the 2-stop didn't work. In the end, finishes in 6th. Bob as well, another one on the alternate strategy in 7th. Kevin, again, 2-stop with Fooders. Both really didn't work. Cheap Skills, of course, and a puncher at the end. Finishes in 10th. Neuro is 11th, Luna Jedi 12th with the fastest lap, and then Sharif wasn't racing, and Sammy, Mally and Apollo are the DNFs.